Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Hop in my time machine as we go back to November 1982. We were last on the Apple II checking out Federation. Have you noticed that when we played video games that we found definite release dates for, we're playing on consoles like the Atari VCS, the Atari 2600, 5200, and more well-known consoles. And now that we're playing all the video games that were released at some time in November 1982, we're getting more obscure games and playing on more obscure systems. It just goes with the territory. Let's see what our next game is. Our next game is Felix in the Factory for the BBC Micro, or, if you want to be really fancy, the British Broadcasting Corporation's microcomputer system. I'm just going to call it the Beeb. It sounds cooler that way. Here's the box for Felix in the Factory for the BBC Model B. Why is Felix in the Factory? Tune in to find out. So this is possibly the first box you ever would have saw, but there he is, Felix. Now that we have characters that we can identify and see as people, thanks to Mario, other platformers and so forth, now what we see on the front of the box is going to kind of resemble that, at least when we play the game, and it won't be just a smattering of pixels. Let's flip it over in the back. Oh, there we go, another one by Program Power. Yeah, oh, it actually says Micro Power too, so this must have been right when Program Power and Micro Power, every game we've seen so far just said Program Power, and then the original company was Micro Power, and they ended up changing the name later. You can see all the other programs there. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Yes, lots of different games. Let's check out the other artwork for Felix in the Factory. Here we go, a later box that you would have seen, still for the BBC Model B. This is the 42nd game that we played for the Beeb. The humble beginnings of the BBC Micro. Besides the box, we also have the ad you would have seen in magazines, and this one's a later advertisement. You can see it's advertising for the Commodore 64, something called the Electron. We'll just pretend we don't know what that is right now, or the Memotech. Yeah, so this is the 27th game that we've seen by Program Power. They did 5 games for the NASCOM that we've seen on the show, games like Lumberjack and Moon Raider. They published games on the Acorn Atom. This is 9 games for the Acorn Atom, games like Demon Dungeon, Hyperfire, Warlords, and this is the 12th game that Program Power has done for the BBC Micro, games like Barrage or Laser Command. And so this is the first in the series of the Felix games. We're going to see more in this series. Here's the cassette tape for Felix in the Factory. Yeah, you can see the release date for 1983 because it was re-released with a nicer box with this logo in 1983. Yeah, I'm glad the rats are labeled. Maybe that's why he's in the factory, labeling rats. And there's the way later release on 5¼ floppy disk. Not even close. We're popping a cassette tape when we play this one with an example of the screenshot. So yeah, this is Felix in the Factory. Let's pop it and play and have some fun at some time in November 1982. This is the very first game that we've seen done by John Chator. John Chator. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. All right, there's our controls. X, Z to move up, down, left, and right. Spacebar is how we go. All right, everyone got the controls down? Make sure we beat those high scores. All right, here we go. Oh, there he is. Look at Felix. Very interesting. So it's a fixed, or it's not a fixed it's a platformer that we're able to move left and right. Where's my jump? Yeah, I got a nice jump. And right here by my shoulder is the generator. The point of the game is you're supposed to collect the oil, keep the generator going, because that oil signal down at the bottom is kind of like a timer. You have to keep it going. This is one of the first platformers that is limiting us. I cannot just walk over the edge. I'm forced to climb the ladder. And look, even if I try to jump, I can't jump off the side. I have to climb down. Really interesting. It's almost like halfway between a fixed platformer and an arcade platformer. Here on Chronologically Gaming, we call arcade platformers the one that allow you to move around and jump on one screen, very similar to Donkey Kong. And this one is taking an homage to that. Look at that, I can't run off the side. That's so bizarre. But anyway, I can pick up this rat poison and stop that deadly rat. I think he's going to be right there. So here, you see my little pile of rat poison there. Oh, we're really low on oil because I was doing a explanation. So grab the oil, quick, run back, fast as I can. Uh-oh, generator. Oh no, it's going. Did I drop the oil? I did. And we ran out of time. That's what you get for trying to explain video games. Oh man, we didn't even get a high score, as high as less. I love it when the high score tables for these original video games have ones the developers put in, because we have to beat Robbo and Snert the dog. I mean, you just have to. There's no way we're going to beat Lucky Eddie at his high score. Yes, with all those rats, we definitely need to be calling OSHA. So this one is the 59th arcade platformer we've played thus far on all systems, all platformers. It's the 26th that we played for home computers, and this one is only the second on the BBC Micro. The only other game for this computer right now is a game called Monsters, which isn't even an arcade platformer. It's a fixed platformer like Space Panic, where you don't even get to jump. You just move around and dig holes in the ground. So this one would be, right now, the best way to play a platformer on the BBC Micro. At least anything, close or resembling Donkey Kong. All right, I say the rats will be there. Oh, don't get me. But as far as this control goes, it is keyboard controlled only. It is working and responding as well as it should. And I think we can get the oil this time. Yeah, there we go. Oil, quick. Fill it up. All right, we got it. Nice. Now you go. What you do is you need to go back and get some more oil and then come back. So in a way, the gameplay is pretty tedious. I do get this little pitchfork over here where I can destroy the monsters in the factory. Get out of here and get some extra bonus points. I can even use the ladder with that. That's pretty nice. So it's not like the hammer in Donkey Kong. Oh, it's already ran out. Ooh, that was close. All right, quick, get some oil. Got to bring it back. This is another one of those games that feels like I'm doing a job instead of playing a game to have fun. But you have to admit, there are some video games that are jobs, made in video game form that are fun. This one, it's literally all this on the same screen. To my knowledge, oh, there's the rat. Yes. What? We just wait a second. The rat just sits there. We get 1,000 points. I wonder if I could have run by the rat. All right, let's try it again. Lay the rat poison. Need to make sure this guy's out of the way. Climb up the ladder. He won't go down. Yeah, they don't go down on the conveyor belt at the bottom. It's another one of those games, too, that gives you a redemption. If we do fall, at the bottom where the conveyor belt is, we have a chance to go back as long as you don't run off the screen. So if the conveyor belt doesn't go to the very end, then we'll be okay. Oh, my gosh. Get away. Here, rats right there. We'll leave the rat poison there. We really need that oil now. We are so low. See how the conveyor belt's getting... Oh, darn. If you trip and fall, the oil goes all the way. Look, it just randomized itself. It went to the very top of the screen. I don't think we're going to make it to the oil and back to the generator now. Oh, man. No. Oh, man. So for the very beginnings of the BBC Micro, the Beeb has a lot to look up to, because at this point, we played lots of video games that are Donkey Kong variants, and arcade platformers on other home computers. But this one right now is the 1 out of 2 platformers that are available on the BBC Micro. But hey, maybe you don't like platformers. You enjoy something else. You know what? Forget the rat poison. Go for the oil. At the very top of the screen, there's really tiny characters representing my lives, which are still quaint that they're showing all the color. I have really been surprised by this computer. The BBC Micro, I didn't know too much about when I first started the channel, and I actually considered not even doing this computer. And then I heard about the first version of Elite was on this computer, and I said, oh, I got to do at least Elite on the BBC Micro. So I made sure I could program, set up, load cassettes on the BBC Micro just in case. Oh, quick, go. And I've ended up finding so many good arcade games. No way, I just jumped into the wall and it reset the oil that I was carrying. Because there's been some good arcade clones like Defender and Missile Command here that have been really, really enjoyable. And color and sound has been very good. This one, the sound's kind of lacking. It seems to be very quiet in the factory. Every now and then we get a few sound effects, but there's a humming that's really quiet that's happening in the background. But it's like the generator running kind of sound. Oh, if an enemy comes after you, that is it. There's no way to jump over them. They're not like barrels or other obstacles. Yikes, that's just tricky. But the other thing that brings the game down is this is the only screen. Everybody that I've seen online or gameplay footage of the game, this is it. See, look at this enemy. Oh, man. So it's a really tough platformer. We're going to be getting some really, really good ones on the BBC Micro later. They're going to be more reminiscent of explorative platformers. And if you know what I'm talking about, I won't say the game yet because we have no idea what it is. But wow, I saw in the chat the quiet lets us concentrate. Yes, yes, it does. Another platformer with a conveyor belt, Manic 2049er right now would be the better game you could play of all the games at this point. Some of the best platformers you can play right now on any system is still Donkey King. It's the king of all the Donkey Kong clones on the TRS-80 color computer. Miner 2049er is still the top tier, or one of the best ones out there. Aztec on the Apple II was the first exploration platformer that we played. Aztec Challenge is a auto-run platformer for the Atari home computer. And then, of course, Apple Panic and all its versions are really, really, really good right now. Cannonball Blitz is still on the top. Canyon Climber is excellent. Crisis Mountain on the Apple II, still very good. An amazing one, Floor to the Jungle on the Atari home computers out there. That's exceptional. Pogo Man on the Atari home computer. Candy Factory on the Atari home computer. And then the version of Meltdown that we played that allowed you to climb ladders, and it's in a nuclear reactor. So it's like if Felix in the Factory was in a nuclear factory, that's what Meltdown was like. And I mean the one by APX, Atari Program Exchange. Whoa, cool. Oh, it's running out. Yeah, we did. I was talking about stuff and didn't fill up on oil. When you don't fill up on oil, Felix just gets knocked out. His time is up. He just gives up if the generator doesn't fill up with oil. No job security here in the factory. So this is awesome if you only had a BBC Micro. The reason I brought up all those platformers on all systems you could play right now is because this would be awesome. If this was one of your first platformers ever on the Beeb, I could see you giving this 4 or 5 stars right now. But this is being rated against everything else that's out there on all other home computers. And so this has a lot to be desired. Only one screen, and all you're doing is going back and forth, putting oil in the generator. Well, you could have some fun if you wanted to, quote-unquote, explore, getting the pitchfork and just, killing all the other monsters in the factory, because it is pretty satisfying. They have to run into you, though, and it is limited whenever you pick it up. Get him! So this game was ported to the Acorn Electron in 1983, so we'll see this again. And then the Commodore 64, because everything needs to be ported to the Commodore 64 by law. We'll see that in around 1984, I think. And then also the Memotech MTX, which I have no idea what that is, but I'm sure we'll see it here on Chronologically Gaming. This is the first game in a trilogy of games for Felix. So another mascot in the United Kingdom for video games. We got Horace and now Felix. This was followed up with Felix and the Fruit Monsters, which is a completely different game than this. It's not even a platformer. And then later it's going to be followed up by Felix Meets the Evil Weevils. So here's the very beginning and the first game we've ever seen of Felix and the series of Felix. So I would give, there's a lot to be desired. And in a way, I'd want to give this for like 3.5 because it's not exactly ripping off Donkey Kong with all the games you could play on all home computers. But since it's keyboard controlled only, I'd rate this somewhere around the range of Fast Eddie. That's another platformer that we saw on a couple other home computers. So there you go, a taste of Felix in the factory. I would still say pretty average then. If I was going to be nice, maybe 3.5 stars, but because of the keyboard control only, I'm thinking about pretty much average. Yeah, James is saying 3.5 to, or 2.5 to 3, kind of tedious. Yeah, Punk Rock's going to 3.5, very nice, yes. Manly says Snurt approved. I'll still say just 3 stars for all the games you can play right now on all home computers. It's a cool beginning for a platformer, but there's a lot to be desired and a lot of competition if you're going to rate this against everything on all home computers. If it's only on the BBC Micro, though, I would say 4, maybe 4.5 for all the games you could play. All right, after that, let's see what our next game is. We're next going to the TRS-80 color computer. This is The Force. Oh, yes. It's a Star Wars game, and it's unofficial. I love those. This is our 163rd game we've played on the TRS-80 color computer. Oh, and Teco software. So all we got is an ad. This is one of the pictures you would have seen in magazines right now. It has what is obviously not a TIE fighter and not an X-Wing. It's totally different than those. And you can see what they call the game in the ad. It's Intergalactic Force. But there are some ads where it's called The Force. This is the second game we've seen by Anteco Software. They did Flipper, which is just like Reversi or Othello. Not super fancy. And we also have an example of the screenshot. Let's pop it and play The Force. This is by Charles J. Rosland at some time in November 1982. The fourth game by Charles. Way to go, Charles. He did Blockbuster, War Kings, Star Trek, and here we go. I'm pretty sure it's machine language. Load the force, or load force. I'm ready for anything. It does look like a really fat X-Wing in the ad. There we go. Whoa, can everyone hear? Well done! Star Wars, hearing the music from a video game, it's probably the third or fourth time we've heard it. That was actually very well done. The organ sound effect was pretty cool. All right, when the game boots up, you can pick the level you want. Let's go with level 1 first, because we have no idea what's going to happen. Oh, okay. I'm controlling, yeah, it looks more like a TIE fighter now. It looks like more like a TIE bomber, and he bombed us already. So the way this game works is I have freedom to move all around the screen. It is a Death Star trench run video game, or a trench run shooter is what we would call it on Chronologically Gaming. I can, very weird though, I can move all around, but my shot only goes up and my shot only goes down. So while it is responding well with the analog joystick, I gotta feel the shot seems limited. I can easily take out the TIE fighter. Oh, I see what it is. As we are going down the trench, there is ports on the trench that come up, and you're supposed to blow them up. Those are the giant yellow ovals. How many ports does this Death Star have? Oh, I see what this is. This is an alternate reality where the Emperor realized we can't just have one port that blows up the whole Death Star. He got smart and put in dozens of ports, exhaust ports, so that you have to blow up all of them. I mean, look at this. And all I'm doing is just racking up more and more points. Oh, but wait, where's fuel? Do I have to get fuel? There's a timer that's slowly ticking down. It's already gone below my shoulder now on the screen. There's also force fields that are coming by, and I think you just have to dodge those. Yeah. But, yeah, there's... Oh, wait, we're out of power. I can't shoot. Uh-oh. How do we fill up? Oh, gosh, if you drive to the bottom, okay, if you die, that'll fill it up. Yeah, the way that it's smoothly scrolling on the TRS-80 color computer is impressive for this computer. Nice. So, this is also a chase view rail shooter, because I'm shooting, but I can see the ship as I move it around. It's the fifth game we've played that's taken from this view, and most of them we've seen in the arcade. Zaxxon also did it for the Atari 2600, where you're behind the ship and it's automatically just scrolling through the scene. But this is more likened to a trench run shooter. This is the 10th trench run shooter we played, taking an homage from Star Trek. Yeah, my fuel's going down. I don't know how to stop the fuel. That's right, and that's what I think of too. I saw in the chat. It's like Star Strike on the Intellivision. Definitely Star Strike would be better than this of all the games you could play. I mean, look at this, how tedious I'm literally doing the same thing over and over again, and I don't even think we see the end. Do we ever even see the Death Star explode? I don't think so. Yep, energy's already gone already. There's another one we played on the Bally Astrocade called Star Battle. I would say Star Battle is better than this when you think of trench run shooters. We just saw Advanced Star Trench Warfare on the TRS-80 color computer, which is another trench run shooter. So that one, you needed the 3D glasses to really feel or experience the game. This one isn't 3D compatible, at least to my knowledge, it's not. But whoa, yeah, it plays okay. It's just there's not a lot of content to it. Very simple, and yeah, very, very repetitive, definitely. At this point on Chronologically Gaming, this is the 33rd Star Wars fan game that we played on the show. If I kept saying Star Trek, I hope I didn't say Star Trek. Star Wars is where this is obviously getting its homage from, and there's still a lot of games that are copying Star Wars that are out there. Very weird that I can only shoot up and down. Oh, okay, every time I shoot, I'm using power-up. So you have to mind your shot, but even still, it's very, very simple. All right, there you go. That's the Force on the TRS-80 color computer. It's all right. Of all the games you could play, I'd even say maybe bad because just it's so repetitive. I do not want to even get this close though to Star Trench Warfare because it doesn't allow you to use the 3D glasses. And we said about 2.5 for that one. So looking over the chat, I see 2.5 2.5 Jawas. Yeah, I like that for Star Wars. 3 stars, mostly average. I don't know. The graphics are pretty cool. The way it's auto-scrolling, we're in the trench, you know, and so forth. So yeah, I'm somewhere in between 2 or 2.5 stars for all the games you could play across all home computers right now. Impressive technically. Gameplay, though, is lacking because that's about it. And I know we do quick showcases of video games. We don't see every single level sometimes. We're just getting your first experience when you pop in this game. You just bought it in November 1982. What's the first experience like? So it's possible that there might be other levels or something after, but I didn't play long enough to see after that one. Yeah, so Psychosis is going 2. I want to say, I'll also say 2.5. I'll be a little kinder because it's impressive to look at. You'd have a fun time, and it is a simple gameplay, but it's doing it fairly well. Shots are weird though, only up and down. So bizarre. All right, after that, let's see what our next game is. It's time to play Connect 4 again, but not official at all. This is 4's Up on the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. All we got is a few screenshots. Let's pop it and play 4's Up by Jim Walsh. This was never published to my knowledge. At some time in November of 1982 is when we got it. Beat the Spectrum. We use only the keys, 8 and 5, which are the cursor keys, and 0 to drop. All right. I don't know what's going to happen. This one's our 137th game for the Sinclair ZX Spectrum, and this is the kind of game I was thinking about that I'd be playing right now on the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. But we played way better. All right, so here you go. Yeah, drop it. It drops. And you only can play against the computer? Yikes, you can't even play with a friend. That's terrible. This is the 7th game we played that's Connect 4 on Chronologically Gaming. Let's see if I can dupe them. I don't know. I think they'll go somewhere in between, right? They'll try. Yeah, they're going to be smart. Something like that. Still the best Connect 4s on the Texas Instruments home computer. Play Connect 4 there. There's also a handheld one on the Milton Bradley Microvision. That's cool because it's Connect 4 on the go. And then the game Intelligence 2 was another one we played on the Interton VC4000. This is so bizarre, though, playing computer Connect 4 only to see if you can beat the Spectrum or be smarter than the Spectrum. We also played 4 in one row on the Philips Video Pack. Mind Twisters on the Commodore VIC-20 had it. What in the world? It was taking that long to think of its turn? Forget about it. And we just played one on the Sharp MZ. All right, I think we've had enough. Yes, that's enough of 4's Up. We're done. Of all the games you can play right now, yeah, this one's bad just because of how simple it is. It's obviously doing its job for Connect 4, but there's much better games out there. Punk Rock's even going as low as 1. Yikes. Yeah, it's around the bad range for me. I don't know if I want to call it broken, though. It might be because it's only the computer playing. It's tough. Mark's even saying 2 stars, I see from the chat. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I can go. You would have a little bit of enjoyment. Playing against the computer is kind of rough, though. Yeah, it's very, very simple. I'll say 1.5 stars in the bad range of all the games you could play right now on all home computers. Play Connect 4 on the Texas Instruments home computer. Oh, there we go. Lots of bads. 2 stars that I see from the chat. All right, after that, let's see what our next game is. We're back on the TRS-80 color computer. This is Conveyor Belt. We almost missed this one, but we're so thankful. Thanks so much, Curtis, for popping it over. All right, so this, all I got is some screenshots for. Another very obscurity one. Let's pop it and play Conveyor Belt. This is Andrew Pekurski, published at some time in November 1982, part of the T&D subscription service. All right, so this one, I don't remember how to load this one. This is our 164th game for the the Tandy, the Tandy color computer. Oh, it is machine language. Nice. Conbelt. Let's load it. This one's a subscription service where they were delivering cassette tapes. So you got a cassette to play your games on the Coco. All right, ready and execute. There it is. Coco cassette, Conveyor Belt. This is the 5th game we've played that is by T&D subscription software. Like, the coolest one that this software service has done that we played was Coco Terrestrial, which is like E.T., but we played it before the official E.T. Too crazy. Use the arrow keys to move the conveyor belt, avoid hitting black boxes, and go completely across and back as much as possible. Okay. So Andrew Pakursky, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, this is the second game we've seen by him. He did Robot Bomber. And ready, set, go. Okay, it's Conveyor Belt. I got it. All right, so I'm at the very bottom. I'm represented by a 0. All I got to do is move from one. I'm just tapping to move to the next. At first, I was about to say, this is so easy. Yes, I want to play again. Whoa, it starts all the way over again. Okay. Yeah, very, very simple premise. It's almost like whenever we first played Freeway, I called it a Frogger variant, but I said it was very simple. The David Crane Freeway on Atari VCS, and so this one feels the same thing. Like, oh, this is so easy. I'm just going from the top of the screen down to the bottom. You know, you just have to not touch any black areas. That's it. Easy. Okay, now I'm getting the hang of it, but the whole point of the game is it's a simple concept. Gosh, I keep telling myself, oh, I'm not going to be able to touch the black. That won't happen. But cool idea. This is another one of those video games that makes me think of, it would be a perfect mobile game nowadays, that someone would be on their phone playing this over and over again. And here we're seeing it in November 1982. At least this idea of a game. I'll still call this one a variant of Frogger. It's just like a distant cousin of a variant of Frogger, because Freeway wasn't exactly Frogger either. And we played games like that with just a chicken or something moving just one direction. You don't have the freedom that Frogger did. We still called them Frogger variants. Oh, that's another good point. It does look like an Atari homebrew, that someone made this up just so we can have fun and play with it like it's a game from the future. But it's not. This is it. Conveyor belt. Hop your way. Oh, now I'm starting to talk like Frogger already. Make your way across to the other side and then back. Get as many points as you can. It still would be another fun game to play with friends, because what you could do is put timers up and see who can get the highest score in the longest amount of time. Because I'm barely raking up a score. The score is hidden behind my shoulder. All it does is give you 1 point whenever you get to the top. Wait for it. Oh gosh, that was close. Yeah, you get 1 point when you get to the top, and every time you loop, like you go from the top to the bottom and back, you're getting 1 point. So I just got 1, and then if I make it to the bottom, then I get 2 points, and you just keep going higher and higher. So it's roughly a Frogger-style game, but this is the 36th Frogger variant we've seen so far on Chronologically Gaming. It's very close to Freeway, but it's not the first game we played like this with conveyor belts. There's another one that we saw on the Atari home computer called Meltdown, the one that Cosme did. It was Frogger, and it's so good. It's a really good Frogger style game, but it has conveyor belts, and it even does a twist on conveyor belts. So check out Meltdown. That's a really cool one. But you would still have fun with this, and this is, remember, a subscription software where they're shipping in the cassette to you. So it's a really good deal, cheap at least. So you wouldn't have to pay as much money, but you get a quick thrill, have some fun, play a game, maybe challenge some friends, that kind of thing. But such an easy idea. Oh, and it does loop around. I guess you could be patient and wait, because there is no timer. Nothing's forcing me to go fast. I could, just sit here, let my 0 keep looping around like that all the time. That's a good point. Someone else said in the chat about typing in. This easily could have been, a type-in game as well. And we have played those on the show too. Not nearly all the type-in games, but we've given samples to get everyone to experience what the difference would be like between typing in a game and playing it based on buying something commercially. And so, yeah, every video game, we still want to hit and play and experience everything that we can. Just keep sending me more games. We'll never leave 1982. So still a pretty good time. It's all right for everything that you could play for computers. So I would say, actually, I don't want to call this one bad at all. Of all the games you could play, you would have some enjoyment on the TRS-80 color computer. And since we're rating this against everything that's available on all home computers, yeah, I'd say it's about average for everything that you could check out. Conveyor belt's all right. It's single player only, very simple premise and concept, but it works and it's fun. Yeah, like how someone said, functional. Yes, we enjoy functional games. Our rating system goes all the way down to broken. If you think this game's broken out of everything you could play right now in November 1982, then you're somewhere in that range. Not nearly broken, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, I see some 2.5, some averages for everything. I'll still say it's average. 3 stars for Conveyor Belt. I enjoyed it, and we almost missed this one. I believe Curtis reached out and said, "Hey, wait, did you get Conveyor Belt?" And because it's supposed to be November 1982, if you were on the T&D software subscription. So yes, we are on every subscription for every video game. All right, that's where we got to put our video game playing on pause. Ever since we switched the episodes to 30 minutes instead of 1 hour long episodes, every episode has gone faster and faster, and it feels like I'm not even getting the time in to go over and showcase the games when you first experience them. I really love everyone that's able to come to the live show and be in the chat rating the games, having some fun, and also everyone posting comments after the show. I love it. Keep sending them, and let me know if there's any games that we've missed, or if there's anything we can do to make the show better, more fun, because playing every single video game, no one's ever done this format before. This is a whole new thing, but we're having a blast. So next time on Chronologically Gaming, finally, the Sword M5 microcomputer gives us the game we have all been waiting for ported at home. That's it for today, and like I always say, if you haven't seen your favorite video game, just wait. We will play it. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.